And Mike, we're going to start with David Ferrones from the Sun Sentinel. David, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, want to know what strides you feel you've made going into the spring and how big it is for you just to have the spring after last year it was cut short.
Of course, actually it's a real big stride, just at least, having this spring, knowing last year that I had an injury, a wrist injury. So, with spring, you focus on competition and focus on yourself and how you can improve yourself so you can make the team better. So I've been able to, have time to do that, focus on the little things, the techniques that Coach Likens been, teaching us and telling us. So that's one of the biggest things with spring.
And if you could what are some of those techniques, maybe some of the specific things you're focusing on?
Mostly with route running. One thing that Coach Likens is teaching us while route running is about just having good body control, being at the top of the route, not giving any indicators. Because if you give indicators, then DBs are going to be able to cut you off or be able to figure out what you're doing. So he's really been harping on that and our releases so we can get off the line, so we can run past DBs, so we can restack them. And those little things that's going to allow us to create separation.
Mike, we're going to go to Susan Miller-Degnan at the Miami Herald. Susan?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Been doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. How would you describe your style of play? And how do you feel about having so many receivers vying for just a few spots?
So for me, I'm very physical. I like to use my hands. I like to be technical in everything I do. So, I love inside routes and things like that, just the nitty gritty and things like that, just being, really, really physical. And about the other guys, fighting for spots, that's good for all of us. Competition is really great for us. We're trying to get better. We're trying to reach that next step. And once we get really good with competition and everybody's getting better, it's going to be to a point where we're able to put any guy in and the guy is just as good as the next one because we're competing and we're trying to be just as good or better than the next guy.
And the other thing is, what did you learn from last season? And, what did you learn mostly? And who's your mentor on the field as far as players?
As players, I actually learned a lot, mostly from Mike Harley and D Wiggs. They was just telling me about little things, especially when you drop a pass, you got to stay positive. You got to play the next play. And that's one of the things that I've been learning is you have to play the next play. Sometimes you may have a bad play, but let's go to the next play. Let's do better this play, or you're going to make the next play. So they're teaching me how to move on to the next play and make that next play so then we can improve and get better.
Thank you.
Mike, I got a couple more for you. We're going to go to Manny Navarro with The Athletic. Manny?
Hey, Michael. Coach shared some of the stats from Saturday's scrimmage with us, but just curious how you kind of performed. Did you, have any catches, any big plays yourself? And then also, where do they have you lining up mostly, so far in spring? And who are some of the guys that are kind of rotating at the same spot, X, Y, Z, et cetera?
So I only had probably 2 catches. One catch was just a bubble, and then I had caught one screen pass that I think went for 30 yards, but that was about it when it came to the scrimmage. But of course, I'm not out on the outside wide receiver, for either side. And guys that are rotating in, we have Keyshawn, Rambo, D Wiggs, just the outside guys, and that's it. That's what I can think of on top of my head.
Michael, we got Gary Furman from Kane Sport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Michael, how you doing today? So you just mentioned some of the guys you're competing with. There's a very crowded receiver room. I think you guys got 12 guys sitting in there. Everybody wants to play. Talk a little bit about how you guys are managing that. You get into a scrimmage, you get a handful of opportunities, and you're going out there. I have to prove myself to the coaches. I want to play, and everybody else is in the same boat. So how are you guys managing that, and how do you see that playing out moving forward?
Very well. We're managing it very well. We're all trying to, get our opportunities. And like I said before, we're competing. That's the only thing that's going to make us better. That's what's going to make us make it to the next step. So we want that, and we all seek that. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're managing very well, because we want to get better. We want to take that next step. Everybody wants to be that guy. So when you have your whole entire wide receiver room like that, it makes it another step. So we want that in our wide receiver room. We want to improve. We want to be those guys. We want to be that dude. So
Awesome.
it's really good for our room.
This is the last one for you, Michael. We got Daryl Streeter from Footballville. Daryl, go ahead. Daryl, I think you might still be on mute.
Okay, I'm gonna take you back a little bit. You attended IMG. I covered you at IMG. How did you benefit from going to IMG, and how did it prepare you for college?
Can you please repeat that, please?
Okay, so I'm gonna take you back a little bit. You went to IMG Academy, right?
Yes, sir.
How did IMG Academy benefit you, and how did it prepare you for college?
So, well, IMG, it prepared me very well. You know, IMG, they had like a lot of the same things, kind of the same schedule. It was just very, very similar. How you wake up in the morning, you go to practice, then you have school afterwards. So when I came to Miami, there was nothing new. It was just 2 times harder. You know what I mean? Had to just go a little bit harder. So there was no real like difference. It was just like college. You had to do this. Class was like this. This was the standard. And now it's just 2 times a little bit harder.
Awesome. Michael, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.